Hello everyone, it's Wednesday. So after my walk on Monday, I stopped by my grandmother's house for a short time before heading out to explore the outskirts of town. I drove past the new middle school being built just next door to the park my sister and I spent countless hours playing during our childhood. I turned up a hill, through the residential side streets of town, a way that I knew very well from my elementary school years. My sister and I were usually picked up from school by a family friend who would take us to her house until our mom got out of work. The street has changed very little in the 15 years since those drives. This house, with the car out front, always over-decorated for Christmas, covering their whole yard with wooden cutouts of snowmen and Santas. I continued driving out past the borough limit to what my mom calls the 10th Street extension. Years ago, there was nothing this far out of town. Now, with the influx of people moving here from New Jersey and New York, it's rendered these once thriving farm fields into a large urban sprawl. I remember when this field was home to cattle, sheep, and goats, now just another canvas for home developers to build upon. The old farmhouse stood here. Now even the foundation is gone. I continued driving, passing a private road that used to be a through street before turning down the new road they built around it. I was never completely sure why they did this until all the new homes started coming up. I guess it was an easier way of routing the traffic. I then rejoined the main road back into town. Years ago, there used to be a water tower that stood off to the left, and this bridge used to be over to the right more before the road was relocated. I came back through town thinking about all these changes. It was then I noticed that the old water fountains in front of the funeral home had been capped. Another change. I often wonder at what point change moves from being needed to unnecessary. It's something that will always happen, and everyone will have to deal with, but at what point do we say, that's enough? I decided to take the back roads home, thinking back to when our mom would bring us home from school, down this hill and through the small residential streets. We'd drive the poorly paved farm roads, which might I add have gotten worse since then. We'd always pass this house, which used to have a black Labrador that would sit outside on a couch almost every day. This bridge used to be an old rickety wooden bridge that took 4 years to rebuild. This farm used to have many horses, cows, chickens, and even sheep 15 years ago, but now only a few horses remain. It's interesting to see all the changes that have occurred over the years around my home, but one thing that I can be thankful for and know that will mostly remain consistent is this: the view from my front porch. It's this view that I'm going to miss the most when I move out. It's this most unchanging view that I know will remain relatively the same for a long time, and since I truly believe that, it makes me miss it even more when I'm looking right at it. Change is something everyone has to go through, and all we can do is let it happen, praying that it will end up in everyone's best interest. I'll see you guys tomorrow.